Today is March 5th, and you guys called in to let us know why this Yankees team will be better than last year and even better than all the years prior combined. Because better than last year, whew, boy, I hope so. Let's talk some Yanks. Talking Yanks with old March 5th in history. John Boy J.
Recaps galore, weekly awards, stat lines, theme, and hot takes. Get your Yankees news from these two fine dudes. It's time for Talkin' Yanks. Talking Yanks with old John Boy and Jake. Talking Yanks with old John Boy and Jake.
Hello and welcome to Talkin' Yanks, brought to you by SeatGeek, where you can go to the app or the website and buy yourself some tickets to any event you want to go to. They've got so many available to you, maybe even some Yankees games. Spring training, you can catch those, or the real season. It's so close, and SeatGeek has you covered, and so do we with code YANKS, where you're going to get $20 off your first purchase. Code YANKS over at SeatGeek. My name is Jimmy. His name is Jake. BBD's here. It's Talkin' Yanks, episode 1018 on the 70th year anniversary of Soviet dictator Joseph Stalin dying. And we're ready to tell you why the Yankees are going to be better this year. Well, actually, they're telling us, Jake.
We're James Davis. We're filtering through the people's information. I know BBD was sorting through the voicemails. I wonder how many just said Juan Soto, and if our guy Joe's just called in and left that one. But there are
My son's friend, Juan Soto.
significant changes going on. And Jim, I have a huge SeatGeek Code Yanks update for you.
Okay.
Houston,
Yeah.
Justin Verlander,
Yeah.
starting the season on the IL. So there's just not enough time.
It seemed like that.
So he's going to be healthy, and we want him to be healthy. We're wishing him his best, but he's just not going to be available for the Yankee series. So
I will say one thing.
huge.
Don't ever think you have an advantage when you're the Yankees and they're the Astros, and it's still in this window of
Okay.
teams.
You think they're just going to hit us with like a kid or something?
I mean, they beat. Who did they when Javier no hit him? Didn't they beat Verlander or Framber the day before or something like that?
Oh, something.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like they could have their fifth starter come. I'm not trying to poo-poo the whole episode.
Right. There's a
Verlander's
little
very
poo. That's just a little poo.
Verlander's very good.
I
and
tried
like
to
him,
open it anti,
but maybe Blanco.
this
gets
is a
game
whole
4.
new thing, Yankees.
We'll see. I hope so.
This is a whole new thing. We're putting all that in our rear view, Jim.
You just can't get excited.
Put
you
it in
know?
the rear view. Don't even bring it.
No, I think you have to have a respect going in that, hey, we got to bring our game.
Old Yankees.
If we're talking injuries to rival teams, sad one, Giolito said elbow, and Cora said he is concerned.
Oof.
Oh, shit. That sucks.
That really sucks.
Oof.
That really sucks. So let's talk about why the Yankees will be better.
Might be good for Jordan Montgomery's free agency.
Yes.
Hi, my name's Richard, calling from Manchester, England. Huge fans. Went to New York in October last year. Yankees let me down. Think we're better this year because the vibes are cracking. It's really good at spring training. Everyone's having a good time. And I think that's going to carry over. In terms of what could be a difference, big Giancarlo. Obviously, we know what Judge and Soto are going to be, but if Giancarlo can be who he is, makes that lineup so much longer. But yeah, we're winning it all this year, aren't we? Pretty simple. Joe Yanks, thanks guys, you're amazing, and obviously Jake Stocks.
My goodness. I mean, sometimes an accent can just really bring everything home. That was Rich in Manchester or Rick?
Yeah.
Both? I mean, he's not going to complain.
Goes by Richie Rick.
Vibes are cracking.
This is what I was trying to tell you. Like
I
right
like
before
that.
we got into the voicemail. Vibes are cracking, dude.
I agree with
JV's
that.
scared. Don't even think about old Houston. Like, the vibes are cracking right now.
Wait, there was another quote he said that I liked, Beebs. Can you play the end? I started typing it, and then I just got swooned in the whole thing.
Obviously, number 22, Juan Soto.
Oh.
Hi, my name's Richard, calling from Manchester. In terms of what could be a difference, big Giancarlo. Obviously, we know what Judge and Soto are going to be, but if Giancarlo can be who he is, makes that lineup so much longer. But yeah, we're winning it all this year, aren't we? Pretty simple. Go Yanks. Thanks, guys. You're amazing.
Just
And
clip
obviously,
that,
James
but yeah, we're winning it all this year, aren't we? Pretty simple, because that's all I need. Thank you to Rich. And yeah, Giancarlo being a threat would be very exciting. It's spring training, so I'm not going to put stock into stats, but I am going to do that. So I'm going to go look up his stats right now.
Okay.
Because actually, you want to know why? Because I've perked up for stand at bats. I haven't watched every one of his at bats this spring. There was a game the other day where they rolled out the full lineup, the first five, and I tweeted, I was like, if that's our first five, and then Glaber and Verdugo are the 6 or 7, like, even if Stanton and Rizzo aren't having A+ seasons, but they're having B seasons, that's a fucking hard lineup to navigate. So I was tuning in because there was a couple innings where like Judge and Soto got on base, and I was like, hey, we need to do the more. And Stan didn't. He wasn't a treat for my eyes. So I don't know if I've just tuned into some poor ones or if he's gotten hits this spring.
I recall at least one that he, in the Friday night game, I believe, he really smacked it the other way.
Oppo, right? Yeah.
He hit a hard one to right field for a single.
He's also not really like sometimes
never
not
been
trying to do crazy things in spring. I mean, he's had bad springs, he's had good springs.
Find out your thing.
Most times it's good springs.
Find out your thing. He clearly changed his body. That's huge. He hasn't really changed his stance a lot, but when you change your body that significantly, that pretty much counts. Like
one hit thus far.
You're doing a different stance in a different body, basically. And yeah, we haven't even fully daydreamed. Stanton first half of 2022, 237, 319, 516 slug, 835 OPS. He had 24 homers in the first half. We've talked about Rizzo before the concussion last year and what he was doing. That, yeah, man, it feels like one of those guys is going to be in the 8s OPS-wise. You'd lean Rizzo because, again, his is a little more clear-cut. Stanton's is a little more hopeful, but he's also Giancarlo Stanton. I mean, there is a level of disrespect to the way we've talked about a guy that has 400 career home runs. So, yeah, I mean, if something there clicks, and I think something you touched upon is going to become a fun, well, hopefully a fun part of this Yankee season. But if we do get to the point that it's like, okay, Soto walk, Judge walk, who's going to inflict the damage? And, like, right now, your safest bet would be Glaber, just coming off the year and the kind of hitter he is in general. But you'd also like to think Rizzo, because Rizzo can bust out the contact tool if you need it, like if it's that kind of game. And if Big G, I don't know. That's it would change the outlook. But I think Rich is... That's like the daydream after the daydream.
I'm trying to find good stats to give to you.
Sure.
To let you know that, we're going to be good. And again, it's a fool's errand because spring training stats don't mean anything.
Right.
Until they do. Sometimes.
And we can get that in quotes. I'll talk to socials. We can get that in quotes with you.
Well, I actually think the best way to phrase it that I do think I believe in is good stats don't mean anything. Bad stats kind of do.
Okay.
Because you can have your Tyler Wade
Higgy
spring training. You can have your Higgy spring training. You have your Greg Bird spring training, and it doesn't translate. Right. For pitchers, you can have your Hap spring training, and it translates pretty fucking crazily. Or you can have your Volpe spring training last year. So sometimes, I think maybe more pitchers. If pitchers has a terrible spring, that usually means
or velo or
something's going on.
Yeah.
Something I'm interested in though is strikeouts.
Okay.
Because some of the guys that are having rough goes in the first 2 weeks or whatever, They're not striking out that much, and that's good news, right? We can hang our hat on that. Like Giancarlo Stanton, he's got 1 hit in 10 at-bats. He's only got 1 strikeout.
Sure.
So bat the ball. He just got to catch up to it.
We are still early enough in spring
10
training.
at-bats. It's nothing. 10 at-bats.
We're
is
still
nothing.
early enough in spring training that, like...
No, it truly means nothing.
Yeah.
And
like you said, even if
but
you
if he was 5 for 10, I'd be dancing.
Okay.
DJ LeMahieu, another guy we kind of need. First 10 at-bats. Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. But my point is more that I was watching Stanton, and it was like a fastball, first pitch fastball high, and like he just kind of like didn't get it. So I just need him to get some.
Okay.
And then I'm with Rich. Well, I'm with Rich already. If Stanton can provide
been
pop.
with Rich.
Yeah. And I really want Stanton to have a good year. And DJ and all the Yankees.
I've got one old man thing.
I'm rooting for all of
I
them.
know Rich is making the vibes immaculate, but we're talking about spring training and what matters. And, if we see a couple good swings from G going into the season, that is going to feel like something.
Yeah.
Those Mexico games, what's that all about?
I don't really know.
I'm not really about that.
I'm not into that at all. And hopefully it like replicates. It feels like.
So are we going Tampa, Mexico, Houston? That's like a road trip to start the season.
I think there's some coming back. Not everybody goes to Mexico for the spring games. Like,
Would you even want to go to, like, there's no need to go to New York.
Well, and they're not going to go there, right?
Yeah, I don't think they're coming home.
So a little Mexico, Houston, Phoenix roadie to get it going.
Is that it's on its way, right?
The Mexico thing's throwing me off. I think
Not on its way, but
it's right after us.
No. Like the Mexico has got to be closer to. It's pretty deep. It's pretty down there in Mexico.
It's in Mexico City.
Yeah.
Ooh, I do think, isn't that crazy altitude? So a bunch of Yanks will pop homers 2
Feel
days
good about
before going
themselves.
into Houston. Yeah.
So from Tampa, they're doing a little triangle. That's a cool triangle. They're just triangulating the Gulf of Mexico there. From the Tampa Bay to Mexico City, you're basically kind of, cutting off that Gulf. They should take a boat as a team. And then you're going up to Houston.
What was that team boat thing you threw out?
And then up again to Arizona, up and way over to Arizona. That is a funky little trip. They're going to be excited when they finally come home to the stadium.
It is a weird way to start the year.
They're playing like the Mexican club team.
Yeah, who did, I believe, just sign Robinson Cano to play just for these games against the Yankees.
The first game last year that they played in Mexico City was 16-11.
Yeah.
Ball was flying. Padres, Soto was in that game. So we'll get some homers there.
How'd Soto do in the first couple games?
Other thing that I just want to... Again, vibes are immaculate.
Yeah.
Kraken.
Half the Giants team had Mexico tummy issues after the trip.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll talk to Boone before that, so maybe we just let them know. Be careful. Soto didn't have a good homestand after the Mexico City, so
He's a slow first month guy anyway.
something to think about.
Slow first month guy.
So they're playing this team from the Mexico League. Gerardo Sanchez is on there. That's weird because these guys are going to be like giving them their all. We can Andre Scrubs on the team. We can like spin it as a good thing. All right. Good thing for the starting pitchers for sure. Or a bad thing because their confidence is going to get busted with that high altitude.
We're in circles. Who's next?
Damn.
What is up, John Boys? This is Jackson here in Indianapolis. Go Yanks as always. Wanted to say I think the number one biggest reason, obviously number 22, Juan Soto, game changer, next to Judge in the lineup, going to open up the lineup huge for us. But I think really the most underrated reason is Rizzo, man. If he's back to being Rizzo, takes this lineup to a whole new level. And then obviously if you get Stroman and those guys and Rodon, the question marks in the rotation behind them, we got 28, in front of us. So as always, I think that we're more locked in. If we get more out of Stanton and some of those guys that haven't produced in the last few years, look out for the Yanks. Go Bombers.
Okay, so thank you to Jackson from Indianapolis. Opens up number 1 is number 22, and I like that. And then I did like singling out Rizzo as that, but then he just went on to say that if everyone that was bad is good, that'll be nice.
Right.
I'd focus on Rizzo right now.
But Rizzo as the number 1, because the last guy was Stanton,
right,
and now Rizzo. And again, Rizzo has a better case to be back to form because he was concussed. He's not just like Stanton is just like, But Rizzo is like, well, he was concussed.
Right.
And now he's got a clear head.
He performed.
Dusted the brain
before
off.
that happened. Again, the Yankee Stadium fit for his swing. And I think if we're being honest, actually, how about this one? Pairing these together. If I told you you get to choose one, Stanton returns to form or Rizzo returns to form, who do you pick?
Rizzo.
Right?
Yeah.
Because it's just the balance. And
lefty,
his bat.
and then like freeing the DH isn't an issue. Whereas
Soto Judge, really good Rizzo.
Yeah.
That's a middle of a lineup.
More so if Rizzo, yes, I agree with that, but the other half is that DH. Like if Rizzo isn't performing, okay, that means now we're adding someone else to the lineup as an infielder, like Peraza is getting everyday at-bats because and if Stan isn't performing, that just means we're going to rotate through the guys we already kind of expect to see. So it's also that.
Okay.
Mostly the lefty behind Judge.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Okay, Rizzo spring, it's pretty good so far, just to let you know.
Yeah.
Nope. It's very good.
Yeah.
It's very
popping homers.
Just hit 2 of them.
Matters.
Grand slam.
So that's some good that matters.
He's somebody that, like, good
if Stan had these numbers, I'd be like, ooh, this doesn't matter, but ooh. Instead, I'm looking at Stan numbers like, this doesn't matter, but
Rizzo, our concern is him, like, literally being able to square up a ball anymore. And he's at least doing that in these games that don't matter.
What's his strikeouts like? Only 2 strikeouts in 9 at-bats. It's 9 at-bats.
No, it does matter.
Your health.
Sure. Sure. No qualms with that. I was also going to say dressing right.
Yes.
I've got a funny story.
Okay.
Under 5'10", they're a company that's been with us for a while now. I wear a ton of under 5'10", pretty much every day. Because the truth of it is, Jim, I'm under 5'10".
Oh, shit.
What was that? Middle of the under 5'10".
I was responding to you being under 5'10".
Their joggers are super comfy. I've started wearing their T-shirts. If you know me, I don't wear a ton of T-shirts, but their T-shirts, everything fits me because I've been wearing the wrong clothes all of my life. I have a funny exchange, Jim.
Okay.
I got a text message from YouTube sensation Fuzzy.
Yes.
And he was listening to one of our under 5'10" reads.
Are you going to reveal his height?
I think it's revealed. And he sent me a video. We don't text a lot, so it's pretty jazzed up.
Googling Fuzzy YouTube height.
He's listening to one of our under 5'10" ad reads, and I say something like, "Hey, are you under 5'10"? And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, and then I said something like, "Are you looking for new clothes?" He's like, "Yes." And that was the video he sent over.
Nice.
And I was like, Fuzzy, not BSing. Me and Jimmy have laughed at each other because we're finally wearing clothes that fits us. And he's like, ha ha. He's like, really? I was like, Fuzzy. Yes.
Yeah.
So if you are under you know what? If you're over 5'10", don't buy this for yourself. Buy it for your short friends, especially with code baseball24 at under510.com/JohnBoy. Get $10 off your order and free shipping on orders over $150, and that's with free returns. So click the link in the description, baseball24 at under510.com/JohnBoy.
And thank you to Fuzzy.
FaceTime from Nikki Cass. Do I pick up?
Yeah, ask him who he thinks is going to have a better year, Rizzo or Stanton.
Hey, Nikki, we're recording Talking Yanks. What do you got?
Go Yankees and go everybody. I love you.
All right, I'll talk to you.
Good stuff,
All
Nick.
right, next voicemail.
So what I think is the biggest reason for the Yankees being better in 2024 is Juan Soto. You just get the protection to Judge, and then it just moves everyone else down one. I mean, Glaber could hit 5, 6, who knows? Excuse me. And Volpe, I think he'll be good. The pitching, I don't know. Also, first time listener, long time caller. So go Yankees.
I mean, Nikki calls up, and then that kid calls up, and just accents galore.
And if you're that kid, check out Under 5'10".
Yeah. That kid lives in the city, right? That's the accent of someone who's born and raised in the city.
A lot of Long Island.
Yeah. Gleyber could hit 5'6". Who knows? I like that.
Yeah.
I
don't need to stress about that.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
What did he say? What was it? Protection? Just the whole thing was protection?
Yeah, Soto's on the team.
Yeah. I was too busy. I like the accent so much. It's crazy that someone...
There's a reason that's the Soto call that made it.
He might not be young. He sounds young. But it's crazy to me that, like, someone that young could have that thick of an accent.
You're either young or you're short.
They're kind of going away, accents.
The,
Regional.
The cough attack in the middle and then not re-racking it, that's great.
He smokes.
Should I just call this and do it again? Nah, I'm in too deep. By the way, first time. You missed it. No, yeah, the lineup being good is important. I agree. I'm with them.
I agree with that. I do agree with that for sure. Okay.
The reason the Yankees are going to fucking make the playoffs this year, first and foremost, is because Carlos Rodon cannot physically have a worse year than he did last year. What do you have, a 7.5 ERA last year? That is unacceptable from that fucking guy. He shaved his face. He better be pumping at least sub 3.5 ERA this year, or the Yankees are going nowhere. They go as far as Carlos.
Hey, I mean, he shaved his face. Like, get your act together. In a way, like, you know.
It's nothing, but it's something.
So, like, if you're, like, on Queer Eye and, like, you've never, like, taken care of your, like, grooming for a long time, and also you have, like, a history of being a bad guy, and all of a sudden Queer Eye, like, shaves your face for you, gives you a nice haircut, and then immediately you just, like, go back to doing crack. They'd be like, come on, man, we shaved your face.
I got to rewatch that episode.
They're in trouble. Your guy Karamo got in trouble, yeah.
What did he do?
He, like, made one of the...
my guy Karamo, by the way.
You're a culture. I like the
so
culture guy.
JVM.
I think, like, he made someone confront the person that killed his friend, and it was like a face your fears moment, and they're like, accept your apology, and everyone's like, that's not cool. I'm paraphrasing and guessing,
right?
But it is something like that. He did a face your fear where, like, accept your apology. Let's face the guy that assaulted you. And then everyone was like, oh, no, you can't force someone to do that.
Don't make somebody do that.
JVN gets an audible laugh out of me every time.
Yeah.
Clockwork. The guy that, like, flips the house deserves more credit. Like,
everyone's getting upset about that. Like, Karamo gets all the screen time, and the guy's just working on the house the whole time. I think he just left.
Does an entire house flip.
I think he left.
Anton's hit or miss. I think everyone knows that.
He's starting his own media company.
There's some eps where he brings the noise. There's other eps where it's like, Anton, we don't really care. Fashion guy's funny, too.
I actually like the fashion guy.
I like the fashion guy, too. He's a short king.
He does a good job of not making him...
And a great king.
Like, I'd trust him to do us because he actually accepts, like...
He's going to push your boundary, and then he's going to hit you with something like he knows you're going to accept.
Yeah. Rodon needs to be better.
He, like, mathematically can't be worse.
You'd like to think.
He could not pitch because there are people that believe he's on the Kevin Brown, Pavano path.
Right.
Of just being hurt and not existing as a Yankee.
Right.
And I don't think that. I like how he looks in camp so far. So I do think he can't get worse.
Okay.
2.2 innings pitched thus far. 1 hit. It was a homer. It was a homer.
It was on the new pitch.
It's Kirky.
It was on the new pitch.
If Rodon is a 4 ERA guy, the Yankees are a lot better.
Yeah.
So be better than that, and that would be sick, man. Yeah. And he should be. He's got arm talent, pumping 97. He's a fun guy. Like, they mix it up on the internets and stuff. Like, I want that to be a fun thing for Yankee fans. It should be.
Should be. You're right. I agree with you.
The Stro-Row pod? Stroman and Rodon?
Stro-Row and Co. for their whoever their guest
Yeah,
that
they
day.
bring in a guest that day.
Yeah.
Zillow.
IP, naming rights, coin that. We'll start that show. Sell it to them.
We set everything up. You guys go from here.
I want to do a fun exercise. I don't know if it's the right time to do it.
Okay.
Nah, I don't think it is. Maybe I'll do it at the end of the episode. I'll have you help me. I'll prep the info I want, and then you will help me get to my final form after the voicemails.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway.
Hi, this is Jason from Jersey City. I think one of the biggest improvements will probably be the hitting coaching staff. We're hearing a lot from spring training, like guys like Judge saying that it helps that there's guys that have played the game once before and have been more in touch with the physical aspect of the game rather than the analytics and also the mental side as well. So I'm curious to see how the hitting coaching staff will improve this offense. And obviously the players are helping as well.
I don't think it's going to help that much. It should on the margins help. I think morale and just vibes, I don't know how to qualify that. They clearly didn't enjoy the way everything was being presented to them. And I did get clarification. Max Goodman wrote an article clarifying. Remember a couple episodes ago that we were talking about Hal's quotes? And he said one addition is an analytics person in the dugout for the players. And then I tweeted, someone needs to explain this further. And then they did write articles exactly on what it is. And it's basically the players now can request stuff from the analytics team through this guy. Last year, the coaches would just tell them what they wanted to tell them, or basically, you know how analytics can help you win your argument no matter what? You just got to shape them the right way. That old, what do you like better, B war, F war, whatever helps my argument.
Sure.
I think it seems like the coaches were kind of doing that. I believe you should do this, and I'm going to go find stats that back it up. Right. And the players had no avenue to counter it or get context. And now they have their own dude to go get their own stats. Right. Wait, they're saying this. Can you check that for me? Which I like. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing that makes me nervous about Oswaldo a little bit, because that's literally what they're doing. Oswaldo can't say, hey, I think I see that lefty pretty good. I want to hit right. From everything we've been told.
Well, it's just that one tweet. I'd like to ask Boone about that, because it is weird. It has to be more nuanced than that. The team's going to select it.
Interested to find out. But yeah, I texted our Talkin Yanks chat. There's a James Rowson interview during the spring training game. Liked his vibe. Kind of good energy. Talked real. Didn't try to go nerdy loser hitting to go too far, and also wasn't just speaking in generalities to get through an interview. It was nice. And then I laughed at James Rowson. Hey, here you go, man. This dude grinded. Minor league guy. Gets a hitting coach opportunity, and he's got Judge and Soto. That's crazy.
He has worked with Judge a lot, he said. So that's good.
But imagine, okay, here are the hitting coaches' jobs. The Royals are open, or you could get the Yankees, Judge and Soto. I'm leaning that way.
It is a veteran-heavy lineup to help.
Right. So you're also a scapegoat if things go awry.
Yeah. Which we all are.
Nature of hitting coaches.
I have James Rowson being great this year.
You do?
Yeah.
He seemed fun. I liked him. So,
and he doesn't feel like he's just babbling about nothing.
Sometimes,
though.
Because, like, if he gets asked a question that he just like, I don't know.
Who's the most talkative Yankee hitter? Who would babble in the Yanks? Rizzo can babble, but he's not like
gotta have that
Rizzo's got a little. He's a first baseman, but he's also, I think, got a little of like focus to him.
Trevi,
Judge, when he knows the player, does talk like he does. Chat a lot at the way up. DJ, no,
not at all.
Don't know about Soto yet. Glaber, no, too scared and nervous. Volpe, too scared and nervous. Young, maybe he'll get there. Wellesley will probably get there.
Wells chats the catchers.
Dominguez eventually,
the
but
catchers chat. Yeah. Well, if you're babbling, or even better, if you're looking to speak a new language, do it with Babbel. I just hit up one of our sales crew, Jeremy Schechter, promo for him, and I said, "Hey, tell Babbel I want in because I'm going to Croatia for a wedding, so I want to learn some Croatian. I want to yuck it up over there."
Okay.
Como estás? Not Croatian.
No,
they probably figure it out.
That wasn't Croatian.
Babbel gives you quick 10-minute lessons designed by over 150 language experts to help you start speaking a new language in as little as 3 weeks. They've got all the tips and tools. They're using science, people. Don't pay hundreds for private tutors. In fact, why don't you go to Babbel, BABBEL.com/Yanks, and you get 50% off at Babbel.com for a one-time payment for a lifetime Babbel subscription. Click the link in the description. Code Yanks, 50% off.
Babylon voicemailers.
Babylon.
What's happening, fellas? DJ here, live, actually in New York City. But biggest reason for diversity for Yankees 2024 is, biggest reason for a change in Yankees 2024 is the lineup diversity, adding the left-handed hitters like the main guy Juan Soto, adding in Alex Verdugo, even sprinkled in Trent Grisham. That is going to be a huge difference maker for the Yankees. Too many times they were trotting up righty after righty after righty last year, and it doesn't work well. Take it easy. Let's go Yanks, baby.
Let's go Yanks, baby.
I hope. I don't want to say tastefully laugh.
Okay.
But let's say Rizzo's good. We've just been through the concussion stuff. Rizzo's good. Verdugo is Alex Verdugo. Always been at least league average or better. Good contact bat. This shouldn't be shrapnel at this player because he should have never been put in this position. But 3-hole Aaron Hicks, man.
I mean, Aaron Hicks all year last year was kind of nutty.
My God, and that's before, at least I know Hicksy put some seasons together, and, as a bottom lineup guy, Aaron Hicks with that on-base percentage and, threat, had times as a interesting ball player. When he was splitting up Judge and Stanton just because he was switch hitting?
Yeah.
In hindsight, now seeing Juan Soto and Rizzo and Verdugo,
yeah,
I would have rather had Verdugo in that batting spot.
That's why I've been getting just so many flashbacks to last spring training.
Right.
And the Yankees were coming off a good year, so you didn't want to be like a total downer about it. Right. But we were constantly like, what is this?
Right.
Like, they can't have these guys. And then they did.
And they did.
And then they had no replacements for when they had to get rid of those guys, where those guys got hurt. So,
that was odd, too, huh?
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, they did get rid of Hicksy pretty soon.
Yeah. Okay.
But, yeah.
Lefties on the Yankees. Been through this.
Hey, guys. Josh from Parsippany, New Jersey. The reason why the Yankees are going to be much better this year is outfield depth. Classically trained outfielders, a more great balance of lefties and righties. Really looking forward to a more complete team this year. Go Yanks. Thank you so much. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. Lefties versus righties?
Classically trained outfielders.
Begging for that.
All of these guys have played the outfield.
Yeah. That's true.
That's a nice feature.
Come on.
You know?
Let me bring up some fun stats.
Bring up some fun stats for me, Jimbo.
Okay. Center field.
Where are you at with Grisham? Are you a Grisham Hive guy?
No.
Okay.
Has his PPP come out yet?
It has not come out yet.
So then I will remain silent.
Sound.
Left field last year.
Yes, baby. Hit me with it.
I'm going to name a player that got 15 or more starts.
Okay.
No, I'm going to name a player that got 20 or more starts.
Wow.
And you
Why
tell
not?
me if they were a classically trained outfielder, a CTO. Jake Bowers.
No.
Okay. Everson Pereira.
No. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
a close one.
That's like the thing we liked about him when we saw him. Was like, okay, real outfielder.
Billy McKinney.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was first base.
A lot of first. Wasn't definitely not a classically trained center fielder and played some center field.
I'll follow up.
He might have been.
I feel like he was part of our original and not classically trained outfielder convo.
IKF, 28 starts in left field.
Minor league, mostly outfield.
Okay,
for
good for Billy.
McKinney.
Got
Good for
corner
Billy. Hit a
time
homer
at least.
the moment my daughter was born.
Say hit a homer, Billy.
Hit a homer, Billy.
But
Yeah.
like it's Adam Sandler movie.
Hit a homer, Billy.
There you go.
Yeah.
I did have a laugh yesterday. I was looking at just Scott Boras clients in general. Billy McKinney is one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Billy. That's Scott Boris's assistant's client.
Yeah.
Yeah, Billy. Billy's number
Scotty
one.
Boras.
Wahoo! Oswaldo Cabrera, not a classically trained outfielder.
No.
Tried his best.
How about 29 games started for IKF in center field last year?
No. No.
Yeah.
Good third baseman.
Nuts. So outfielders is good. Have people that can play the position.
Sure.
Are you worried about the defense? I don't know if we recall about that. You know, the
Ooh.
haters right now, I posted that saying the lineup's pretty deep, and I like that. Even if they're not all great, I like it, and it's spring training. And, you know, I don't know if they're Yankees fans or not Yankees fans, or they're pessimistic Yankee fans, or they're just not Yankee fans trying to find shit talk. But a lot, some of the sentiment that I came from that contingent was like, so what? You're going to be like terrible base runners and terrible defense, which is, they're going to be below average base running. And I think below average defense. I do think that. But I don't know how much it's going to hurt them.
I would have to go around the league and actually see where the Yankees fall defensively. The infield feels fine.
Oh,
Like Rizzo, good.
Rizzo's good.
Catcher's fine. Trevi plus, Wells maybe a minus compared to others, but it's fine. Glaber, I don't know, knucklehead plays, but
You go Glaber, Volpe, DJ. It's kind of in that mix of like, if you're just on an OPS scale for me, OPS plus,
Right.
You're dancing 95 to 105.
yeah, I guess I've made a step with Volpe. His defense isn't a problem for me until it's a problem for the team.
Yeah.
Like for the
3 hours
chunk
already in
for
spring.
the, for the
Probably
chunks, spring doesn't matter. For the chunks of last season, there was a lot of episodes where we were like, "Hey, Volpe got better." Like remember early on we were pretty nervous, and we're like, "Hey, Volpe's been fine lately. Volpe hasn't been noticed. Volpe's making the plays," which again, I do think there's a shortstop scale that I still think Volpe is in a good place on the shortstop scale, and in theory, he should get better in his second season. So, like, I think for shortstops, I think Volpe is good. And then DJ, I've had my qualms, but he's going to make the plays that need to be made. But yeah, he's not a high-rated elite third baseman. But I think the infield's fine. I think Judge and center, depending how long that goes, like we know he's not going to dive. We don't want him to dive. That Judge, Soto, Verdugo, that's not sexy. I think that's where the Yankees will get hurt more than infield.
So I'm the opposite.
Okay.
I mean, I think Verdugo can play left field. I've seen him play left field and deep outfield before and kind of like him. I think Soto can't hurt you in right field. Not many people can hurt you in Yankee Stadium right field. It's tiny. And Judge plays a fine enough center. Maybe I have them the same, but I like the offense to get to that 105 plus, where the infield kind of scares me. Just lack of like arm strength on the left side's a little nuts. Like when Jeter Downs made that play in the hall, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Nice play.
Yeah. So
make the play. Dansby doesn't have a strong arm. I don't know. I guess I also have Toronto in my head. Like, their outfield is like superhuman. It's Varsho, Kiermaier, Springer.
I don't think. Yeah, I think overall they're not a great. They're not a top defensive team. But where can they get hurt? I feel like outfield can't hurt them as much. I don't know.
I know Verdugo in general, like of our main three outfielders, like what the most common lineup we think is going to be, Verdugo, Judge, Soto, left to right. He's the best at that spot of the three of them. But I know he's a guy whose like reputation is prone to just like Glaber-esque moments in left field, and I don't know how much of a plus he is in left field more than just like adequate.
Yeah, I guess
left field. I'm fine with it.
He doesn't. I don't know. Sprint speed, he's pretty middle of the back. It's a big left field. I think Verdugo's going to be. I think Verdugo's probably going to be our best outfielder, which I don't know if that's a good thing.
Yeah, I guess so. No one's a baiter out there starting. So defense not good.
And Grisham,
they got to hit.
Grisham's supposed to be the, ideally the defensive kind of super sub closer.
Some late lift, and the games he does start, he's a big plus.
Because I think Verdugo, Grisham, Judge, I think that's a high level outfield.
Verdugo, Grisham, yeah, that's.
I think that's elite.
Because Judge and Wright's pretty good.
Yes.
All right.
I have one more voicemail here.
Hey guys, I think that the biggest reason that the Yankees are going to be better this year is pretty much just because they have to. With the amount of guys that are on walk years this year, including Soto specifically, and the amount of money that he's going to command beyond this year, and just the fact of the heat that they faced last year with Boone and with everyone else, they just have to be better this year. And if the year gets worse, then they're going to have to do something about it and right the ship, because we can't have a repeat of last year. Go Yanks.
Okay.
Sure.
Fair is fair.
Some of the left field stuff you talked about, some of the pitching stuff, Rodon and Sevy. Sure.
They can't. I mean, I agree. I mean, if they do, it'd be awful.
We refuse to get worse.
It'd be really bad if they get worse.
And I know we've done this before, and this is kind of Yankees BS, and this isn't how seasons work, but Judge stays healthy, Rizzo stays healthy. Like last year's Yanks still make the playoffs, right?
Yeah. And I think we're worse off if that happens.
Right. 2 steps, 1 step back, 2 steps forward.
2 steps forward, 1 step back. You're still going forward.
How many more we got, Beebs?
That was the last voicemail I've got.
Holy smokes. The DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code YANKS. You get a no-sweat bet up to $1,000 back in a bonus bet. Wow, that's pretty nice. So, that's code YANKS only at the DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In West Virginia, visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPENY or text HOPENY. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, 21 plus. Ages vary by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. 1 no-sweat bet per new customer. Issued as 1 bonus bet based on amount of initial losing bet. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See dkng.com/promos for deposit, wagering, and eligibility restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources. What do we learn?
I don't know. That was a mixed bag of confidence and not confidence. Kind of because like, how can we get better than last year? It lends itself to things that were problems last year,
Right.
and then those are now on the forefront. Where spring training had kind of been erasing that for me a little bit. Like, oh no, we're great. You know, vibes are cracking.
Careful.
Big Giancarlo.
How are you spelling Kraken?
No G.
No G.
Crackin.
I didn't know if you'd go for the animal and kind of have it be a double.
What animal?
Kraken.
Oh no, I didn't do that.
Where'd you say?
Gary.
Remember him?
I do.
Those hats. Every day. Yeah. I've got one old Yankee guy thought that I've been trying to get off my chest.
Okay.
So I know in baseball, you're gonna lose a chunk of games.
Yeah.
Guys used to hate losing.
I think
Like
some
this
do.
is Yankees bullshit, but like Jeter hated losing.
Yep.
That doesn't mean you don't wash it and come to the ballpark the next day and know that it's a long season. But I don't know. The Yanks have just a little too much of like, well, we lost today, but that's baseball. Let's get it tomorrow.
They went a little too much in the last 2 years of being like anti the pressure.
Right.
And like not, and like just like anti the media and the fans, where I think then it didn't actually translate to how they actually feel. They felt like they had to put on a front to be like, we're fine. Like it's Boone's confidence, right? Like where they're just like, we're gonna get going. I trust us. I believe like that, which you need.
Right.
But that in doing that part, they erased all of the, no, this fucking sucks. And then they would have to get really bad for them to finally say that and be like, no, this sucks. Like they basically said that once they were eliminated.
Right.
Where like Jeter, they would lose like 4 in a row and he'd be like,
and that makes
we need to change.
That makes the highs matter less. Like walk-offs and like this is loser stuff, but yeah, I watched a video of the Bryce Harper walk-off where he like watched it and then he basically ran around the bases because he was hyped to like celebrate with his teammates and we just won the game. And that's like the Yankees, the baseball team, get a little bit more away from the business of the Yankees and be a baseball team and win and bludgeon and hate losing.
Win, bludgeon, hate losing.
We got. I don't know how that one didn't slide over to my final list, but we got multiple calls that I saved that were essentially that. All the returning guys just sat through last year. They're going to be more motivated because that sucked. Front office
and it feels
has placed an emphasis on this season.
It feels like they have a little bit more of that. Just the early spring training vibes. It feels like
time will tell, but
you would hope
vibe should be there. And Jimmy, you had an activity?
I did have an activity that because we were talking about Rodon and like what he would need to do to get better.
Okay.
And I thought in my head, I was like, I wonder if you took like all the pitchers that made starts for the Yankees last year and combined them into chunks of 32 starts, like 5, or 33. So I did that. So you have Garrett Cole made 33 starts. He's his own man.
Yeah, sure is.
Okay. You know how many of their own men the Yankees had last year?
I would say 1.
2. Clark Schmidt made 32 starts.
Okay.
And I do think that's the most you're going to get. You usually always have a guy that makes like 25. And then
but that's kind of boy to man.
Well, he counts as his own person because
he was one full rotation slot.
Yeah, he was one rotation. He is one of the 5.
Sure.
And then I had to combine Johnny Brito and Domingo Germán there together because that makes 32 starts. 19 for Germán and 13 for Brito makes 32 starts. I just have to change 15. For Brito, he made appearances as a relief pitcher as well. So combined for Domingo Germán and Johnny Brito in their 32 starts, they had a 5.13 ERA. Not great. All right, then the next combination is Luis Severino, Michael King, and Randy Vasquez. And you're hoping you can find something there. That's 32 starts between the three of them. They had a 4.86 ERA. Sevy really let him down.
Tough pairing for King there.
Well, yeah, but that's the only way the numbers I could get to. It's a puzzle, you know? You got to get to for everyone. Severino blew it. Randy was pretty good too.
Like if you do King and Brito, that'd be like a nice man spot.
That would be 22 starts. So then I'd need to find 10 more somewhere, and there's not a 10.
Right.
That I have to.
12.
Well, then you're at 34, which is too many.
That's too many. That's like a man and an extra nail.
Yeah. It's a puzzle.
Yeah, the innings puzzle too.
No, starts, because we need to replicate the starts. The innings would be a different, because you need more starter innings. That's the whole thing.
Right.
So the next one is Rodon, Nestor. That gets you to 26. And then the rest are Hamilton 3, Weaver 3, Cordero 3. So if you take the worst pod here,
right,
and that's what Rodon needs to beat.
Luke Weaver?
Weaver can help. But the worst grouping is Herman and Brito. So if Rodon can make 32 starts and less than a 5 ERA, he's a better pitching cog than we had last year. And he should be able to do that. I don't know 32 starts, but, pair him with Weaver again.
The performance. Perform well, be ready for October.
He should be able to do that. I would hope. I think this third pod might, because I have Hamilton's numbers, but the way they do it, the way I copied and pasted it, included all of his earned runs and all of his innings. So I think the ERA is going to come down there with Weaver. Weaver helping out as well. Oh, no, he only started, right?
Weaver only started.
And Nestor only started too?
Yep.
No, so that's the worst pod. That's a 5.63 ERA. The Rodon, Nestor, Weaver, Hamilton, Cordero. So that's what he's got to beat. 5.63. And he'd be an improvement.
He can do it. Yeah, it gets a little tricky with some opener.
Yeah.
Yeah, but hopefully we don't need those.
A lot of places can be a lot better.
But my point is I hope we don't need openers as many as we had.
Sure.
So we get more innings, because we didn't average a lot of innings from starting pitchers last year.
Whole team stunk.
Yeah. King good, Vasquez good as starters. Then they move Vasquez off. Ian Hamilton, great in his 3 appearances.
Value high. Go get Juan Soto.
That's crazy to me, but crazy that he's in their rotation. I feel like we didn't get to know him.
No.
Him and Brito, they felt like they could be guys that stick around for 6 years, 5 years. Like
it could have been weird, like in a weirdly endearing place in our brains.
Yeah, we did it a lot last year. Luis Heel kind of dunked on Vasquez in a more fun season.
Yeah, Heel's going to be around. They went down to AAA. Oh, did you see?
And Brito was just like a little cuter.
They're sending so many guys down already. Yeah. And
season sneaking up.
It's seeming like AAA.
Early start this year.
Seeming like AAA is going to be no prospects.
It's a lot of vets.
All the vets. Like, I know it sometimes usually is, but in the past it hasn't been that. But seeming like the Scranton is going to be all quadruple A players. That's just like full tank of reserves.
It's a ton of guys that have MLB service time.
Yeah.
A lot of outfielders. What about infield?
Well, they're still all with camp right now. That might be going there.
Gonna be
like there's still
at least one Oswald
big league
there.
camp.
We think service time. Van Meter's on a minor.
Van Meter, Jorbit Vivas, Jeter
Vivas
Downs
is a prospect.
Jeter Downs,
it's 25.
He's not like a
his MLB
prospect.
service time is, but
I'm saying like
at one point was a big prospect. Yeah,
I'm thinking like the Dietrich, I've played at the big leagues level. I'm waiting for my next opportunity.
I don't.
Yeah, there's levels to it, but
I think those are
Vivas is
like
a prospect,
outfield. Greg Allen, Luis Gonzalez, Oscar Gonzalez.
So I have those in the same bucket as
Okay.
Dietrich. Dietrich had like 2 years.
Those
in the
guys,
Cy
Yeah,
Young
those
there.
guys. Yeah,
Yeah. Who do they have on infield?
not a lot. That's what I'm saying.
But who's still in camp?
I don't think there are a ton of
That like the
Veteran
non-roster that are gonna maybe.
infield depth. Like it's kind of that the JC Escara guy listed as a first baseman.
Who's that guy? Groshams.
Groshans.
Yeah, he'll
Seen the
be
bigs.
on the
He's 24.
AAA roster.
He's not like a prospect top list anywhere.
No, he used
to be. He was
Yes.
the Blue Jays number
And he's still
one.
24.
2
So like
years
he can
ago.
have a new chapter to his career where the other guys, Greg
It's
Allen,
still like
is
a
Greg
project.
Allen.
Is kind of like they're like not like Dominguez.
Nobody who's like getting a
Wells.
hype
Sure.
train.
Yes, they're still guys that are
Agreed.
bouncing.
We don't even
around.
use AAA for those guys anymore. The new Yanks.
Caleb Durbin.
Hey.
Hey, he's one of the biggest risers in the system last year, and they got him for Lucas Licky.
Nick Birdie. People are talking, Jim.
Ooh, they are.
100 miles per hour.
Max Burt.
Don't do that. Don't do that to me.
Okay.
Don't make me dislike Nick Birdie.
You don't like it? Matt Blake sinker?
I don't care how fast you throw ball 4. Go Yanks, telegrams.
Go Yankees.
Class now working on a sinker, Jim.
Should.